They say you should never sleep alone in the bush. Not deep out there, where the red dirt goes on forever, where the gum trees twist like bone, and the stars feel too close. Not in the outback, where sound disappears, and time feels stretched, because there's something else that travels those lands at night. Something older than cattle stations, older than roads, older than language. The Aboriginal people call him the Kidarcha Man. They don't like to speak his name, not openly, not at night. They say he's a spirit man, a shadow being, and he walks the bush while the world sleeps. He doesn't come with thunder or light. He comes when everything is still, when you're asleep, when you're alone, and when he finds you, you don't wake up, you don't move, your body becomes stone. Only your eyes wide, unmoving stare straight up into the night sky while he leans over you, crouched low, whispering words you don't understand. Then he opens you, not with tools, not with knives, just his hands. He takes something from inside you, something important. You don't feel pain, you don't bleed. He seals you back up, smooth and perfect. And in the morning, you wake, and everything seems fine, but you're never the same again. There are stories from across the outback, from the cattle stations near the border of the Northern Territory and Western Australia, from the sandy floodplains north of Alice Springs, from campfires and radio rooms, stories whispered by stockmen who don't scare easy, and Aboriginal elders who've lived through too much to joke. They all say the same thing. If you sleep alone in the bush and he finds you, you change. At first, you feel fine. You laugh. You eat. You work. But something begins to rot inside. Not sickness, not madness, but something worse. Your eyes stop meeting others. You forget faces. You start to hurt things. Small things at first. A bird, a dog, then worse. And when it gets bad enough, when you're too far gone, he comes back to finish what he started. One story comes from 1987. A man named Wally Griggs, a stockman from a station 300 kilometers south of Halls Creek, went missing for 3 days. When they found him, he was naked and crouched under a tree, whispering to something no one could see. He didn't remember being gone, said he'd only been asleep. He worked a week. Then one night, he strangled a fellow ringer in his sleep. Didn't know why, didn't fight it. He died a month later. They found him in his swag, eyes open, mouth full of dirt. No tracks around him, no sign of a struggle, just him. And the mark burned faint into the skin over his heart. A spiral made of bone-thin lines, like fingers had pressed into him. In Aboriginal communities, the old people speak of the taps. You'll hear them in the night, out at the edge of town. A water tap turning on and off, on and off. Nobody out there. No kids, no wind. Just that slow drip of water into dry dust. They say it's him, fetching water. They say he drinks like a man, but moves like mist. One tale from the mid-2000s tells of 2 tourists who set up camp west of Uluru. Wanted the real outback experience. They slept in swags outside their 4WD. Just before dawn, the man woke to find his partner gone. Her swag zipped and untouched. No footprints, no drag marks. But something scratched into the dirt beside her 5 finger marks. Deep, spread wide, as if something had squatted beside her while she slept. She was found 3 days later walking along the Lassiter Highway. Couldn't remember her name. Didn't know how she'd gotten there. She died 6 months later in a psychiatric ward. No cause ever given. But the strangest story came in 1979. On an old dirt road between Kununurra and Timber Creek, a Toyota hit something. It was just after midnight. The driver, Darren Shaw, A station manager said a man ran into the headlights. Thin, wild-eyed, covered in dust. His hair reached down to his ankles, tangled, full of sticks and leaves. He was naked, but didn't bleed when he was hit. They took him to a clinic near Catherine, then flew him to Darwin. He wouldn't speak, just stared, until they brought in an interpreter and elder from a nearby community. The moment the elder entered, the man spoke in a rush. The elder turned pale, said the man wasn't a man at all, said he was a Kadacha man. He begged them not to cut his hair, said if they did, he would die, and something would be released. But the hospital staff didn't believe in spirits. They shaved him, for surgery, for identification, for protocol, and he died that night. Not slowly, not painfully, just stopped. His heart, his breath, everything, gone, before they even finished. His body vanished from the morgue a day later. No signs of break-in, no security footage, just an empty slab, and a black spiral burned into the sheet where his chest had been. Since then, no one has seen a Kedarcha man in person, but the stories never stopped. Elders won't camp alone. Stockmen tie bells to their boots, and everyone avoids sleeping under the stars when the wind goes still, because when the bush is too quiet, that's when he walks. And if he finds you, you won't know it. Not until something changes inside, something you can't fix, something that waits until the night he comes back. And when he does, your eyes will open, but you won't be able to move, and you'll stare straight up at the stars as he leans over you and finishes what he started.
There's a shadow in the hallway and a voice beneath the floor. I lock the doors, I hold my breath, but it's closer than before. A cold wind in the mirror, footsteps on the stairs. I feel it watching silently, but nothing's ever there.